Hi, good morning. Today's video is on lead management. We have talked about lead generation, then we'll talk about lead management, and then we'll talk about lead servicing. Lead management is a very critical part of any office because it's the only way how to convert money spent in lead generation into income by lead management. We'll go step by step. Lead management. What is this man doing? There is a man, for those who cannot see properly, there is a man on a nice sunset or a sunrise in a lake holding a pole, and most people think he is doing fishing, right? So fishing teaches us a lot about business. This is one more saying about it. If you caught a fish, every time you fish, it would be called catching, not fishing. This is by Jimmy Buffett. Now, what does this mean? As when you do lead generation, you will have a lot of fish around, but only if one fish out of so many will get into the hook, and then you will catch it. So when you do lead generation, you will get a lot of fish, but you need to have that one fish, and that is what is sales all about. So how do you catch that one fish? There are two most important words in real estate brokerage. These words are follow up. When you generate a lead, the most important thing you need to do is follow up. Okay? So follow up. When you get when a person says that okay, I'm interested in buying an apartment, and then he doesn't pick up your call. What do? You don't get disheartened and keep on calling, because he may be busy, he may be not able to pick up your call, or he may not have an answer exactly when you call, but eventually he will. So keep on following up. Sales are mostly closed with follow-up, not lead generation. This is the important aspect, that sales do not happen in lead generation. Sales happen when you follow up. How much lead generation you should do? This is a question which many of brokers have in mind, is how much lead generation you should do. You should do actually as much lead generation only to the extent you can follow up with each of the leads properly. Till you can follow up, you keep on adding to your pipeline. This pipeline usually ends when the deals close. Now many prospects do not buy immediately. We'll see that the timeline, but the problem is that people, like a real estate broker, loses hope till then. Okay? Remember, the faster the client responded to, the more trust he has on the service. So if a client calls you on a Monday morning that I am interested in buying an apartment, and when you return that call back on, say, Tuesday, okay, that is one thing. But if he's returned the call within 24 hours, it is impressive. But if you return the call on Thursday, then he will think that, oh, this real estate broker is busy doing some other business, so let me take my business elsewhere to a broker who can spare time for me. So that's one thing, that he doesn't want to give his business to you. Another important thing is that he would feel that this person is not trustworthy. If he cannot return my call, probably I don't know how much his advice should I follow. Lead sources. In lead generation, we have talked about a lot of lead sources, lead generation techniques, but there are pretty much 6 lead sources. One is walk-in. When you walk in to a customer's place, or they walk into your office. Another is inbound or outbound calls. So if there are calls, if you generate business via inbound calls, like you advertise your number and people call you back, that is inbound calls. If you have a database and you call that is another source. SMS, that is one thing. Social media, if people are impressed on your Facebook page and they write down that I want to buy 3 BHK, can you help me? It is a lead generated by social media. Email, in a party, email is one thing which, like, there are a lot of sources where there are a lot of places where you mention your email address, and through that reason you get a lot of leads. In a party, you just attend a party and guess what, somebody said that I want to buy. Okay, so these are pretty much 6 sources what we have realized, but these are all leads. Now is the difficult part. How do you manage them? First of all, you should make one single repository for all your leads. All your leads should be at one single place, then only you can manage them. If you have social media and you send a personal message, you have to note the contact details and whatever details requirement he has in one place. Telephone calls. You are driving and somebody calls you that sir, I wanted to buy office, and you say okay, I'll get back to you, and you discuss probably at 10 minutes when you are driving, which is unsafe actually, but still you do it. And then one day, and then by the time you reach office, there are a lot of things that are pending, like you check your email box and you forget about that conversation you had on way. So what I recommend is that every lead, whichever source it is generated, put it in a single repository. Can be in Excel or any other database, can be like can be protected, like in Excel and in Access or any database there is a you can protect the certain like deletion of certain fields. You should do that, because accidentally if in Excel you just go to a cell and press down space bar, the cell gets deleted. Best leads can be managed by using iConnect, as it is made as per Remax hierarchy. So what we suggest is that you have varied sources, combine all of the sources into an Excel sheet, and when you have a full listing or a buyer requirement, you put it in iConnect, or even if you have a contact details, you put it in iConnect, because in iConnect you can allocate to BO, allocate to BA. So office generates so many contacts, and then you can allocate to each broker associate. So just in case if a broker associates computer gets formatted, then everything is saved in iConnect. Or say maybe he loses the paper in which he is managing them, like a diary. Suppose he loses his diary, iConnect has all the information. And above all, iConnect also generates reports which can help you present to customers for a lot of things, like tasks which have been done, open houses which have been done on their property listing. So eventually you will know that that putting all contacts and leads into iConnect is very helpful. For that you need to do it first. Okay, so how to manage 6 sources of leads? Capture all leads. A lot of phone leads are lost. Ensure the following at your office. Biggest loss is phone leads. Actually, biggest loss is party. When you meet a person in a party, by the time you reach office the next day and you actually note it down in your repository, you forget it. So that is one major loss of leads. But another thing is, say, phone leads. Phone leads, it is estimated that in India that about 50% of the phone numbers which are advertised are not picked up. Okay? So ensure that phone number is picked up in 2 rings. Phone is picked up in 2 rings. That is something you need to ensure at your office. If you are a BA, then the number, whichever number you advertise, ensure that when you are expecting a call from that advertise, it is picked up in 2 rings. All details are noted down. Keep a notepad near the phone. I have seen that a lot of offices don't put a notepad near the phone. Now, a notepad is very important to take down the messages while they are on the phone. You cannot waste time in typing onto the computer. Note it down. proper questions are asked and limited information is given. See, an important part of first phone conversation is that proper questions are asked. What is your requirement? What are you looking at? Which is the area? What is your budget? What is the timeline? Okay, this is some few questions, not many. Ensure that not many questions are asked. Only that much questions are asked which are relevant for lead allocation. Okay, or whether to decide whether how much efforts you have to do behind this lead. Only that much questions should be asked by a general office receptionist or the person who is responsible for taking the phone calls. Another thing is that not too much information is given that the person decides whether he has to deal with the Remax office or not. So for example, if a person asks over a phone call, so how many deals your office has done in the last 1 month? And that is something that an agent should reply. Okay, so you should not divulge more information than necessary at the first call. The reason being that is that the agent should ideally call and give a better impression to the customer. So leads have a relationship with the admin, leads have a relationship with the BA, and BO has to monitor the BA and the admin. All leads in the office should be allocated according to a policy. Form a policy in your office on lead generation. It should not be arbitrary. There should be a logic so that the BAs are satisfied and the customers are satisfied, and it is easier to satisfy both of them. So, for example, you can give a geographical area to a BA, or you can, and further you can also do a commercial and residential specialization also can be done. BA should have skin in the game. Most BAs do not spend money on advertisement, that's why they don't follow up well. I recommend that all lead generation activity should be done on partnership basis, that the BO, the BA should partner for the advertisement. So that way he will have a responsibility for the lead follow-up. If a BA does not follow up on leads, even if he has skin in the game, he does not follow up the leads, then leads should not be allocated to a BA. Why? The point is that things like that spoil Remax image, and you have to, not spread negative image about Remax. Research shows that if 20% of a particular lead source are below the quality, the salesperson ignores all leads from that source. So I gave an ad. In a newspaper mentioning on a particular newspaper. I don't want to name any newspaper, but it's an X newspaper. I gave an ad. Now 100 phone calls came. A BA is allocated 100 phone calls out of that advertisement. Only he calls 20, and if all 20 reject, he doesn't call the remaining 80, because he assumes that all leads generated from this particular lead source are bad. So in this case, what you need to do is, first of all, distribute to several BAs. Second interesting thing what can be done is have multiple lead generating sources, like what we have discussed in the last session. Like advertisement is the costliest way. There are 100 other sources, and you should focus on multiple sources. Not all are as costly as advertisement. Most are free. So try to use time and energy in learning different kind of lead sources and implement those. If you tap only bad quality leads, eventually there will be no motivation to follow up. This can happen with you also. It's not just a BA's fault. If most of the leads are bad, eventually you will not follow up on the good ones also. As discussed in the last session, have multiple lead generation sources. Lead life cycle. What is the life cycle? First contact, then comes understanding the requirement, then qualify, you need to understand the requirement and qualify whether the person is able to buy or a serious contender, able to sell, providing required info to the customer, rapport building and closing the deal. This can take from one day to a few years. Remember, lead generation can take from one day to a few years. How much is each lead worth? So there are 100 inquiries from a particular lead source. Now how much is it worth? If out of 100 inquiries there are 30 which are qualified, 10 come near signing, they see property, they like it, everything, and there is a one signed deal. Commission earned from the signed deal is rupees 1 lakh. So each lead is worth rupees 1000. Okay. So each lead. Now you don't know when you get 100 leads, you don't know which one is that one lead worth 1 lakh. So when you follow up, ensure that you give as much importance of 1 lakh rupees to each lead. Okay. Time management. Now you have 100 leads to follow up, but you don't have the time to call 100 people every day. So you need to segregate them into active buyers, sellers in the first priority. The requirement should be satisfied in top priority. And for example, they say give me the layout of this particular property. And if you think that they are active buyers, you should give them that layout first. Remaining inquiries should be put in low priority but should be kept in touch as we discuss further. Rule of 45. 45% of all leads turn into a sale for someone. This is one rule. Great sales people follow up every sales lead until the prospect buys or dies. Okay? So follow up until a person buys or dies. The older the sales lead, less the competition. Most people follow up on new leads. They forget old leads. These are 3 rules. Always memorize that. 45% of people buy with you or someone. Great sales people follow up until the prospect buys or dies. And the older the sales lead, the less the competition. Okay, always remember this. 50% of the sales lead are not followed in the first 15 days of lead generation. Like I said, 50% of the phone calls are not even picked up or called back to. 50% of the leads are not followed up in first 15 days of lead generation. 80% of the sales lead are not followed up after 1 to 2 months of lead generation. You generate a lead and 80% of the leads are not followed up in. The unfortunate statistic is that most leads close after 6 to 12 months of lead generation. So here is the dichotomy. Now on one hand, you have customers who call up a given number that yes, I am interested in this property. That is on one hand. On another hand, there is people don't follow up them until they decide to buy. So by the time they decide, sales people stop following up. Okay? So what is the catch? The catch is that you have to keep in touch until the prospect buys or dies. Checklist for follow-up. Focus on strengthening the relationship. Do not focus on doing the sale. Focus on strengthening the relationship. Center of conversation should be customers. It should not be me-centered. A lot of real estate brokers keep on talk about that what deals they have done and how good they are and what they have been doing and etc, etc, etc. But they forget that the customer needs to be given importance and not the broker. Make a simple system which the office follows. The reason why I am saying that you should make a simple system is that a simpler system is easier to review and follow and adhere to. while a complex system would make it difficult. The end result should be of lead follow-up should be an appointment. What is your target when a customer calls? Some people try to close the deal over the phone. That is never going to happen. Always remember that unless a customer is called, he's not going to unless the customer meets a real estate broker, the deal is not going to happen. And if the person meets, then he's a serious buyer or a serious seller. So try to get an appointment. This thing should be, follow-up process. Like, you should focus on strengthening relationship. When a phone call comes, don't try to talk directly about the deal. Try to talk about the customer's requirement. That way the customer's conversation will center around the customer. Make a simple system of office follows, the entire office follows, and if there is a simple system which the entire office follows for lead follow-up, then everybody's lead to closing the lead will improve. End result of lead follow-up should be an appointment. Okay. 3 B's of follow-up. Be prepared and organized. When you say you will call the day after tomorrow, call exactly on the day. Trust building starts here and now. So be prepared and be organized. These are 3 B's of follow-up. Be prepared and be organized. Okay. So I give you my experience. I'm on a management position at a primary school. We get a lot of salespersons, calls that we want to sell XYZ thing to your school. It is very normal that I get every week about 10 to 15 sales calls. Not me directly, but the school. Some calls get to me, like they reach to my level after all the filtration we have. The simple thing I do is a salesperson calls that, can I meet you tomorrow? I said no. I go on X particular day to the school, meet me on that X particular day. At that X particular day, if he calls, then he's serious. I say no, I'm busy. Let me do. I at least tell him to call me 3 times. I cancel. I don't give him time for about 2-3 weeks. And then one fine day, if I see that the person has been calling diligently every week, then I agree to meet him. Because if he is not serious about his business, then I don't have time to spend behind him. So I would recommend to all salesperson that you have to call on the time you promised. It is the easiest way to generate a trust. Be persistent. Keep on trying till the prospects give appointment. Be persistent. Remember, nothing is more impressive than persistence. Be patient. Remember, the life cycle of the lead can be 1 year. Be patient till then. A lead life cycle can be, the lead life cycle can be 1 year, but the appointment time can be even 3 months, because a person was free one day and he saw your advertisement in the newspaper and he just called, but due to his own monetary issues or maybe his social problems or maybe his home loan approval process, he's not able to decide whether he's ready to sell his home or buy his home, and he delays your appointment. But that doesn't mean he has said no. You have to be patient. Okay, we'll go cover 5 steps of lead management. First step being qualify. Are you the prospect? You should ask a person when he calls on phone, are you the prospect? He says yes, I am the prospect. No, that is not the way to qualify. Actually, is he a prospect or a suspect? That is your job to know whether he is a prospect or a suspect. Is number 1 step. To be customer centric, get used to asking a lot of questions. Now you should frame a set of questions in your mind, and you should ask all the leads which you have generated. These questions should help you judge the seriousness of the customer. Budget, need, requirement, timetable, identification. These are some of the questions. What is your budget? What is the need? Okay, so I pick up the call and I ask, so sir, I understand that you are interested to buy 3 BHK in Pune for rupees 50 lakhs. He says yes. So he says yes, you are right, I want a 3 BHK in Pune for 50 lakhs. Now what area, what location are you looking at? The location I am looking at is these. Okay, sir, according to my information, which I may be wrong, but in this area, in the areas you mentioned for 3 BHK, which would be approximately 5,000 square feet or whatever square feet, and the rate would be 5,000 square feet, it cannot be anything less than 2.5 crores. So what, 50 with a 50 lakh budget, sir, you cannot buy a 3 BHK. Okay? Now, believe me, since 3 years we have been in Remax, I have seen a lot of leads, and most leads cannot afford to buy. Most people, their budget and the requirement do not match. So that is a good way. That is not the market. They are not anyways going to get deal from any other broker. So don't worry if that person is not, you are not able to satisfy that person. Okay, but you need to ask the right question. So for you to determine whether he is the right person to give your full efforts for. Requirement, need. What is your need? Why do you need that? What is your requirement? Timetable is another thing. Like, what is the time which you want to do this transaction? It can be 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, whatever. But get a good timetable. If a person says an unrealistic timetable, you can ask them another question. That, sir, in 15 days you cannot buy a 2.5 crore apartment, even if you have the money and if you have the apartment. Because in 15 days it will take more than 15 days to evaluate and find the right and willing buyer. So you can set the expectations right in the first qualification process alone. This will help you know how much aggressive follow-up you need to do. Okay, so that's how you manage your time well. Response kit. So the day you get the postal address and all information about the customer, you send a response kit. It can be cover letter thanking them for inquiry, buyer's guide, seller's guide, whichever applicable, or a recent update, office, agent profile. This is something which you can send as a response kit. A response kit impresses a customer much more than a phone call, because if you see a customer average calls about 10 real estate brokers that I want a house or I want to sell my house. Now the person who sends a response kit gets the good impression. So it's a good time to, what is the cost of response kit? Writing a letter, maybe 2-3 rupees, sending it over a post, maybe 4-5 rupees. So it's very affordable to send a response kit. If you have a buyer's guide, maybe it's on A4 printout. It's something which you need to share. You can send it. You can also send like your past testimonial, or we'll cover that in next slide, upcoming slides, that what all things you can send. But a response kit you should send which is relevant to the customer, which you can easily send, like not something every time is a big hassle for you, something which is cost effective. So these are 3 important things. Now ensure that response kit is not is not the last communication. So let some things have keep something incomplete, so a buyer may call you. Step 3, forward to build rapport. What is forward? Okay, we'll see what is forward, how you can build rapport via the simple formula of 4 letters. Family. Talk about his family. Talk about what is his wife doing, what is his kids doing, what is his parents doing, etc., etc. Occupation. What does he do exactly? Like he says a doctor, but there are 10 different kinds of doctors, starting from a physiotherapist to an Ayurvedic to a homeopath to a orthopedic to a dentist. Everybody says they're a doctor, but what kind of doctor? Where is his clinic? What are his timings? Talk about his occupation. What kind of patients does he get, etc., etc. Recreation. What does he do for recreation? What does he do for recreation? Some people play golf. Some people go to movie. Some people watch, cricket. Some people are like theater, drama, concerts. Some people just go adventure sports. Now, why this is important? So, when you close a deal or when you want to, when you have 10 customers who are hot and you know that they are all liking movies and there's a new movie coming in the town, you can send them free tickets. That this is something, gift from you. Dream. What are the dreams? Some people dream about a great big home, and what they're affording right now is a small apartment. So you can, if you know their dreams, you can guide them well. Whenever you meet a person, whenever you meet, you can refer these things beforehand to make the prospect feel important. How's your son's exam go? When you know his son was to appear in board exam. Something which a lot of people like is they talk about their dog. How's your dog? It's not very important. It's not going to make or break the deal as far as the real estate deal is concerned. But when you know that he has a dog and he feels nice that that you are concerned about dog's health, you're interested about his dog. Now, this person, when he looks for an apartment, and you also take care that whether dogs are allowed in the nearby park or there's anything related to pets near that area, and you can give him some information that this is a good veterinary doctor, and these are good pet stores where you get store supplies, and there is a pet show, things like that. So when you know simple thing that he has a dog, it can lead to a long-lasting relationship. So always try to build a good rapport. Trust me, no amount of advertisements will help you to build as good as rapport as following simple 4 steps of FORD. Okay. Now step 4 is flirt with information. So you send a lot of information. Now try to send mostly over email, because what I have seen over a past of so many years, that customers who are serious, who can afford houses, offices, usually check email and are email savvy. And not only that, it reduces your cost, you get a faster response, and they can also forward it to somebody else, and in turn your brand name is created in the referral list also. So while you send out a paper information, hard copies, it takes a long time for them to reach. Moreover, they get displaced or it is difficult to find. It is always recommended that you develop, say, buyer guide over a soft copy also. And whenever a person, you want to keep in touch with that person, you can send him such kind of soft material which practically cost nothing. Make an office newsletter and send it to a prospect database with the information on just listed, just sold, new agent joining, new development in the area of specialization, or general real estate rules. Today, when in Ahmedabad, for example, the development plan has been released and there are a lot of updates in the FSI. Now, this is something which all real estate agents should send as a rule, like as a process, to all the inquiries in the coming 6 months. Why? Because press media will eventually find it outdated information and will not send, while real estate buyers who come after 6 months into the market may not know what are the intricacies of this new development. Okay. Now also you can put in a newsletter and keep on updating to all your customers, all the database in the office. Now this office newsletter can be designed by the office admin and can be sent to all the agents personally. Like the agent should send personally to their contacts. So that way an office brand name is built that this is a big office they are working in, and also you get to market your services easily. Send various reports which you can make on trends of the market. Now what is the trend of the market? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it rentals are increasing? Rentals are stagnant? What is going on in the market? How are the land and plotted development happening? What is the say maybe any big company, any big deal happened in the market in recent past? This is something which you can send various reports. You can make a report on all that. The reason why reports should be made is you have to help the customer in taking a decision. When you flood him with the information of the relevant kind, he will think that you know the subject very well. Each prospect has to be impressed that you know more about real estate than the 99 other agents they have contacted, all combined. So a prospect before calling you contacts 99 other real estate agents. 99 is just a random number. A lot of trust me, they will be contacting 15 agents on an average. There is no conclusive research on this, but our experience is that a person says that I am sorry, my real estate agent has not been able to help me with selling my home, so I have contacted you. And we asked them, okay, so how many other real estate agents have you contacted? The person usually replies with a double digit. So either it's 10 or 11 or 15 or 20, you know. So now there are so many real estate agents out there in the market. Now you are looking that, okay, I am able to sell your home provided you give me this exclusive mandate. Now how is that person going to give you exclusive mandate unless he trusts that all other 99 people are not good and you are the right person? Now he will do it when you flood him with a lot of information. Now the probability that a customer will follow your advice increases when they know that you know a lot. So you say that this house value is 1 crore and he is of that opinion, no, it's 1.25 crore, and you want an exclusive mandate and you want the deal to be done at 1 crore. So how do you deal with it? Now unless and until the prospect has a big respect for you and he thinks that whatever price you are saying is right price, he will not agree to that. Okay, so you have to get into that respect level where whatever you say is accepted. Another way to flood with information is make an 8-week direct mailer plan. On the first week, a response kit, which we talked about. Now in the response kit, I mentioned that buyer's guide, seller's guide can be sent, but you can, if you are not sending that, then you can send it in the second week. Third week, you can make a just listed postcard. These are the properties just listed. You can make a postcard and send it to them. Market report, what we talked about, a report on the market, you can send in the 4th week. 5th week, you can send the customer testimonials. 6th week, just sold postcards which you have sold in the past 1 to 6 week, you can send that. City guide, you can send a city guide for people who are coming from the outside the city, or an area guide who are changing in area. You can have it prepared for different places in your office, and then whichever customer comes, you can just send a city guide. Income tax tips, home loan tips, you can send in the last. So again, this will make you at the end of 8 weeks, most prospects will feel that you are, like it's approximately 2 months, most prospects will feel you are the real estate agent who they should work with. Last but most important step is a phone call. Dedicate 1 hour every day for phone calls. 98% of appointments are generated over phone calls. emails do not generate appointments, SMS do not generate appointments, social media does not generate appointments, but a phone call generates appointments. Most people avoid picking up unknown numbers, so try again. Then try with a different number. But keep on trying. Calls can be simple. How are you? Or following up with some information they need. So in the first call they said that I was wondering whether this apartment is friendly, has wheelchair access. You say, okay, let me check and get back to you. Yes, it has wheelchair access, but let me confirm it and get back to you. You can just call them that yes, the apartment we saw has wheelchair access and a lot of senior citizens stay in that apartment, so it is good for you. And that is, so sir, can we meet and I can show you some other options I have, and it's a good way to get an appointment. Now, sometimes you say, how are you? I just wanted to check with you if you are okay with get an appointment. But ensure that you keep calling. Okay. Now use iConnect. Like I said, to add all contact details of prospect, record all activities on the listing, ensure that the database is handy for mass mails, personal notes, and sending response kits. Now database is in address, phone number, name. Now this iConnect, everything is stored in for each BA, so you don't need to worry about your database being used by another BA. It is only open to that particular BA. Okay, so we need 5 steps of follow-up. We need certain rules, certain facts. Now let us talk something about audit. So you have a lead, you get a lot of leads, and now you want to audit them. What do you do then? Check all the leads which have been recorded to see whether they have been followed up within every month. Systems fail unless checked and rechecked. Okay, systems fail if you don't keep on checking that system is being followed. Try to incorporate improvements based on past experiences. So sometimes you realize that certain follow-up techniques are not working, people are not responding over phone calls. Try to change something. Do not assume everything is going normal unless you have evidence to that fact. When the evidence shows that everything goes normal, till then do not assume. Things to be checked in an audit. All leads generated are recorded. All leads generated by an office are recorded. That is, you have to check. All recorded leads have proper information. All recorded leads have been allocated to each BA in a proper manner, and then these recorded leads go to iConnect once they are allocated. All allocated leads are followed up by the BAs. Okay? So there is this 4-step process. One is that all leads are recorded. Recorded is in the repository, which I talked about. All repository has a proper information. All recorded leads are allocated to each BA in a proper manner, and all BAs follow them up. This is something which you check every month. This is not only applicable to a BO, but a BA also should check these 3 things. That whatever leads they have got, they have followed it up, they have proper information, and that they have been inserted in iConnect. According to office policy, the follow-up process should go on. Okay, when they say follow-up, but it should be according to the office policy. Lead source is cost effective. One thing you can check is which lead source is cost effective. So you do advertisement in 3 media. Now certain media are more productive than other media. So you can see which is more cost effective. Purpose. Check any lead leakage. What is lead leakage? That leads do not get recorded. Always check that. Measure performance of lead source. Measure performance of follow-up systems and track BA performance. See, you can track BA performance, and you can improvise the training which the office provides and review the office strategy. Okay, but for all these things, what you need is proper recording systems. So ensure that there are systems and it is properly followed. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can visit to, you can write on this blog, technologyremax.blogspot.in, and this is our website, remaxmgm.com, and this video will be available on YouTube. And if you want, if you see the description, there will be a test which is you can click on the test and appear for this test. Also, if you want to have any any questions, you can email to helpdesk.mgm@remax.in. If you have any suggestions, if you have any success stories, you can share, and that will be end of this session. Thank you.